Good morning. It's another car chat. I was just thinking this morning about in James 1, there's some Bible verses. It talks about asking. When you ask God for something, you ask in faith, nothing wavering. Because to waver is like an ocean. It's unstable. And it says that let not that man think he's going to receive anything from God. And the very next verse says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And as anybody who's been watching this channel for a while knows that this channel, this account is mostly focused on marriage, on divorce, marriage restoration, marriage reconciliation, growing in our spiritual life in the midst of marital issues. And so I was thinking about this verse. This verse has been on my mind now, and it occurred to me that double-mindedness is one of those things that we can do without even realizing what we're doing. You know, you might be in a marriage right now. I'm going to give you some scenarios. You might be in a marriage right now where your husband or your wife isn't acting right. They're not doing as they should do. Your husband's not loving you as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. Your wife isn't submitting as unto the Lord. Your spouse isn't doing what they want, and you start praying, God, please help me. Can you fix this person? And it's a perfectly fine prayer. I mean, maybe you should look at yourself, but even if you don't look at yourself, it's perfectly okay to pray for someone else and pray for somebody else's heart. But then you don't see anything for a while. You pray a month, you pray for, a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months, even a year. Just praying and praying and praying and begging God and asking God, please God, do something in my marriage. And you see nothing. You see nothing come out of it. And then the devil. There's a devil in this life. There's an adversary, a liar, who, by the way, knows you better than you know yourself. He knows our Bible better than we know our Bible. He knows the character of God. But he's got a character to steal, to kill, and destroy. He's a liar. Jesus said he's the father of lies. And he'll come to you, and he'll start putting little suggestions in your mind. That's what he did to Eve. That's what he did to Jesus, what he was trying to do to Jesus. Put little suggestions in your mind. And he'll ask that question. What if? What if God doesn't answer your prayer? What if you're in a divorce right now and you're praying for reconciliation, you're praying for restoration with your spouse? Very similar situation. And God and God doesn't do anything right away. And in that pain, in that trouble, the devil puts a little suggestion in your mind. What if? What if God doesn't do it? What if God doesn't fix it? What if God never reconciles or restores your marriage? You know what the Bible says. You know the Bible tells your spouse that if they depart from you, they're supposed to remain single. But what if you see your spouse and they're not single anymore? What if they're with somebody else? Even though they said they were a Christian. What if they're committing adultery? Even though they said they were a Christian. What if? And the devil puts that little suggestion in your mind. What if God doesn't fix it? What then? And I believe the right answer to that question would be, well, I'm just going to trust God. Like what Job did. God giveth and God taketh away. But no matter what, glory be to God. But you know what? God knows our flesh. The devil knows our flesh. And and if we let that fester, he will let that fester. And then that what if turns into, instead of what if God doesn't fix it? Well, if God doesn't fix it, what then? Well, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to live the rest of my life alone. So what if? What if God doesn't fix it? Am I going to be alone? That's when the mind starts to change a little bit. That's when you're in danger of that double mind. You're in real danger. Because then the devil does the same thing he did with Jesus. Hey, look at those kingdoms out there. Those are all mine. I'll give one to you. I'll give them all to you if you'll just bow down and worship me. The lust of the eyes. It's the lust of the eyes. The devil says, hey, look at that lady over there. She'd make a great wife. And she's single. I'll give her to you. Yeah, you don't have to worry about being alone. Look at that guy over there. He's single. He'll provide everything you need. I'll give him to you. And the devil starts putting these little pieces in front of you to get your eyes off of God, to get your eyes off of your spouse, off of the marriage restoration, and onto what if? What if God doesn't do what you ask? What then? And now, the moment you accept that, now you've got a double mind. Because now you're saying, well, if God fixes it, then I'll get my marriage back. But if God doesn't fix it, I've got a backup. I've got a backup plan. I've got the possibility of another woman. There might be another woman out there or another man out there. I can see these other men and women who are looking for what I need. And they can fill my void. And then suddenly you're praying with a double mind. You might even say a prayer like this: You might say a prayer like, God, please restore my marriage. God, I want my spouse back. I want my husband back. I want my wife back. God, please restore marriage. But if you don't, can you show me who I should be with? That is called a double mind. You've now gone into double mind territory to where now you're thinking, this isn't my only option anymore. My only option isn't what God said should be my only option. As a married man, and I'm just going to talk about myself right here, as a married man in the middle of a divorce that I don't want, my only option in my prayer should be my wife. Should be the restoration of my family, the reconciliation of my marriage. That should be the only option I've got. And yet, the devil would have me to think, well, what if? What if it doesn't happen? Don't you want another option? And I believe the correct answer would be what Jesus said. What did Jesus say when the devil tried to tempt him? It is written. It is written. So my only option is my wife. And if you're a Christian, if you're a believer, and you're in the middle of a divorce, you're in the middle of a separation, you're in the middle of a marriage that's difficult for whatever reason, you've only got one option. Because God promises you will reap what you sow. So you've only got one option. And the moment you open your mind up to that second option, the moment you open your mind up to that other guy, that other woman, those other people that might be interested in you, the moment you open up your mind to those things, God says He's not going to answer your prayer. He's not going to give you what you're asking for. Because now you've opened your mind up to other things and you're not asking in faith anymore. You're no longer asking in faith. So, here's the solve for this problem. Ask in faith. Nothing wavering. Say, God, all of my eggs are in this one basket. I made a commitment. I made a vow. I'm in a covenant. There are no other options. It is until death do us part. That's what the vow said. For better or for worse. For sicker or for in health or in sickness. For richer or for poor. No matter what the situation is, it is until death do us part. So God, all of my eggs are in this basket because I made a vow. I am in a covenant. And that vow wasn't just to my wife. It wasn't just to the husband. It was to you, God. And therefore, there is no what if. Therefore, either, God, you restore my marriage, or God, you have to carry me. You have to carry me through this, no matter what. Because I don't have any other eggs in any other baskets. There are no other options out there. There's no other man. There's no other woman. There's no other hope but what you have given me. I'm going to stop at that because I know I can just keep going on and on. So I love you guys. I hope you get something out of this. Take care of yourselves.